Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the Roundtable. Hope you will pick up your copy of Yes Weekly. It's available just about everywhere. If you can't find it, go online and you'll enjoy it. And speaking of enjoying, we're enjoying our stay at the Senior Botanical Garden. Here on screen is their website, seniorbotanicalgarden.org. You can come out and do your weddings and receptions and just enjoy the garden. And now here's something for you to enjoy, the Roundtable gang. On my immediate right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. Social distanced behind him, that's a hard word to say, is a gentleman we held over from the earlier segment, David Daggett, founder of Daggett, Shuler, attorneys at law, and thank you for hanging on to this.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
Keith
sir.
Granberry rounding out the group, president, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. All right, guys. Last week, Roy Cooper announced we're in phase, in this phase where in October 5th, the elementary schools can start to reopen. But he's leaving it up to the local school districts. So my question is, should he have waited until there was COVID-19 was under control in all school districts, whatever 100 different school districts, and then mandating that they open instead of doing it this way, Ogie?
I wish he had waited and then mandated that you had to reach a certain threshold and you couldn't open until you reached the threshold. Don't make October 19th the arbitrary date.
Or October
Wait
5th
until
or
you've
whatever,
reached
yeah.
that threshold.
Yeah, David.
I think we have different social dynamics and different social constructs in different parts of the state. So I think it's right to leave it up to separate parts of the state, but there should be some statistical guidelines and parameters based on the population makeup in those different areas.
Mr. Granberry.
I think the statistical data is that right now the schools should be closed until this thing is under control. These young people are getting coronavirus. They have immune systems different. They're taking it home to their parents. And right now is a deadly time, and they're talking about this thing reemerging in the winter. So it's just too deadly to start reopening schools.
Sort of on a similar topic, Lieutenant Governor Dan Forrest said we should reopen all K through 12 schools right now and not require face masks. Quickly, Ogie, what do you think?
Well, he's a troglodyte. What do you expect?
Say what you mean, Ogie.
Well, he's an idiot.
David
about that.
Daggett.
I think you have to be sensible and thoughtful. I don't think whitewashing the whole thing is sensible and thoughtful. I don't even know where he's coming from on that.
All right, Keith.
I think people say that in that arena until someone in their family gets sick and something happens to them, and then it changes. So I think it's easy to say that when you're trying to get political points, but this is not the time to do that.
Right. We have some noise in the background. It was the birds were chirping until they were scared off by the truck. So we lost the birds. All right, here's a question, sort of a legal question. I'll be interested to see what David Daggett does with this. A Boston couple sent their child to school just 3 days after he was diagnosed with COVID. As a result, 29 other students in that school had to be quarantined. Guys, should these parents be arrested for endangering the other kids? Ogie?
Yes. Lock
think
them
so?
up. Lock
David,
them up.
what's your opinion?
Well, you gave me very, very brief facts. I don't know the story. I'm sure there's more to the story. However, again, I think we need to be sensible. We need to be thoughtful. We need to do what's fair. And we need to do what's right. It doesn't sound like those parents did any of those.
Right, Keith.
It goes back to your first question about kids. I mean, this is a perfect example why you shouldn't be in school. And the parents, maybe they should be checked for mental stability because they may be mentally retarded.
Well, I don't know what the problem is.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
The U.S. Department of Education is threatening to cut federal funding from the state of Connecticut if that state goes on with allowing boys who identify as girls to compete in biological girls' athletic events. Cutting off funding. Quickly, Ogie, what's your thoughts?
It's a really touchy one, Jim. What I've come up with is if they started at hormonal treatments and are doing the muscle mass reduction treatments, I think they should be allowed to compete with women. But if they're just guys cross dressers, no, you can't
David.
do that.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is establish scientific parameters based on testing that, and I'm not an expert on this, but for example, if your testosterone level is above X, you can't participate as a female.
Right.
And just so it's not an opinion, it's a scientific determination.
Keith.
I think until you have fully transitioned, then you cannot participate in female activities.
Yeah,
fully transitioned.
Yeah, that's the position Martina Navratilova took, and she really caught a lot of heck for saying that. Senators Warren and Schumer want the president to cancel out college loan debt up to $50,000. Good idea or bad idea, Ogie?
It's not a bad idea. I don't have a problem with it, I don't think.
Think it'll happen, David?
I don't think it'll be happen, and I'm not sure it's a good idea. Are you going to put parameters on performance with what the students have to do? Are you going to put parameters on income levels of the households? I think it needs to be defined a whole lot more until we get into this free tuition thing.
Right. Keith,
What was the question again?
that they want to have a president, whether it's Trump or the next president, if it's a different president, cancel out college loan debt up to $50,000.
Well, I would like that because I had some loan that I took
Yeah, well, they're not
Could
going
they cancel out my loan?
No.
I think it is a good idea because there are many people who are sitting around with a lot of debt, and America has money to be able to do some of these things. So I think it's a great start.
All right.
Absolutely do.
Yeah, they're not going to cancel your retroactive
They're not
debt.
going-
No. All right, finally, guys, researchers at a zoo in Poland are studying the effects of marijuana on stress by giving pot to their elephants. Guys, do you think animals should smoke pot? And do you think marijuana relieves stress? Ogie Overman.
That's your.
We had this dog in college.
Yeah, no.
Well, it can reduce stress. It can, but it can. Some people, it can make you paranoid. So
Yeah.
it's not a cure-all for
David
stress.
Daggett.
As long as there's a medical prescription for the elephant, I'm all for
The
that.
elephant.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got to be medical marijuana for the
Yeah,
elephant.
for the
David?
elephant, yes. We need to
Keith,
take care of that elephant.
what do you think? Does it help with stress, or should you give it to animals, or what?
I heard that it helped with stress. That's what I heard. And the animals, depending on the animal, if it's
Yeah.
lions, any aggressive
Yeah.
animals,
Yeah.
they probably should get a little
Yeah,
bit
do
of
a little
you
bit of
know?
that. But that's just based on what you heard.
Based on
though.
what I heard.
Yeah. Whoa, yeah, we believe that. Keith and Ogie have heard a lot of things over the years. Well, that's all the time we have. It's our 800th show, by the way. Thanks for being on the 800th show. guys.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Jim.
One other thing I want to mention, and this is a true story. A couple of weeks ago, the Pope had this big gathering out in front of the Vatican, and he told everybody, true story, he said, it's okay to derive pleasure from good food and sex. In an unrelated story, Bill Clinton has just become a Catholic.
No,
You
no,
understand that?
Jim. No, I don't.
All right, for all of us here on Triad today, we're going over to see what else Keith has heard. We'll do it next week.